like and subscribe, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week. This is the last week for Johnny or Amber to establish their previous spouses defame them in this clown show of a civil lawsuit taking place in Virginia. 5 weeks have been spent on domestic abuse allegations of destroyed acting careers. Johnny sued Amber, saying her 2018 op-ed devastated his career. Amber filed a restraining order against Johnny and declared herself a domestic violence victim in the op-ed, without explicitly naming him. Johnny and his legal team have labeled these indirect accusations as a hoax. Amber has now countersued for $100 million. As if she'd ever see that kind of money in her talentless life.
Listen, you bastard! I want my money! I am not going to end up a 31-year-old divorcee on welfare because my scumbag attorney had a sudden attack of conscience.
So, both celebrities claim they were victims and disputed domestic abuse allegations in 2017. Johnny said he'd never physically abused Amber or anybody else, and multiple witnesses corroborate the abuse done to Johnny and his job loss claims. Last week, Amber tried to argue that Johnny was the aggressor in their relationship, that his addiction led to violence, and that his financial issues started before Amber began advocating for domestic violence survivors. Amber's witnesses tried to substantiate her assault allegations and discredit him. Now, Johnny's legal team must erase jurors' suspicions to win this. Amber wept crocodile tears for 2 days as she spoke about Johnny's supposed mental and physical abuse. She said Johnny struck her after a body double performed a sex scene in London Fields, a 2018 film where she starred opposite Billy Bob Thornton. Oh, Billy Bob, yeah.
Oh yeah, give me the potatoes.
Are you okay?
Are you alright?
Yeah.
As for what Amber said about that instance, I didn't actually film the scene. He demanded that we watch it. So I have an incredibly jealous man who is already upset with me for breaking the rule about participating in a sex scene. He was irate. He called me a liar and a whore.
I've heard it said that way, yes sir.
There may be some truth to Johnny being angry, but it ends there. In a video deposition, the ex-agent of Johnny's, Tracy Jacobs, stated that Johnny sought to disrupt the production because he wasn't thrilled with what he saw. Johnny then expressed how he felt about the nudity in the scenes. It's in Amber's contract that there will be no nudity, and her effing agents are weak and insipid. Will you please call these MFers? And you and Jake get on this immediately. It must be shut down, or I will sue them 8 ways from effing Sunday. These people are nobodies in this business, and they should be made to understand that we will ruin them instantly. During closing arguments, Johnny's lawyers will likely concentrate on the body double and erratic behavior. The defamation claim requires either. His lawyers must establish Amber defamed him because it requires a false and spiteful comment and must be exposed. The jurors will likely question Johnny's account if they accept these terrible stories. Johnny's final words should disprove these charges. As for Amber's sister and that whole Kate Moss on the stairs incident, she stated, "I'm at the back of the stairs with my back to the stairs, and that's when Johnny runs up the stairs, and again, I'm facing Amber. He comes up behind me and strikes me in the back. He hits me in the back. I hear Amber yell, 'Don't hit my effing sister.' By that time, Johnny had already grabbed Amber by the hair with one hand and was whacking her repeatedly in the face with the other while I was standing there. Now we all know by now, Amber has confessed to punching Johnny in the face twice. But now in this instance, she says she did it to defend her sister. Funnily enough, Amber's sister said she used cocaine with the star at his Los Angeles penthouses. Johnny said she sold tabloid tales about him, which she denies. Travis McGovern, Johnny's security guard, has a different account of the Kate Moss in the stairs incident. He sees the situation differently. When Amber tossed a Red Bull can at Johnny, the two began a verbal attack. Mr. Depp was giving as good as he got at that point. Amber tried to spit on Mr. Depp. He was angry and agitated. I saw a fist and an arm come across my right shoulder out of the corner of my eye and saw a closed fist contact Mr. Depp in the left side of his face. That was Miss Amber's fist. For the sake of Johnny's own safety, McGovern escorted him out of the house. Amber's sister also claims Johnny threw a steak knife at her and swallowed an unknown bag of drugs during a 2013 trip to London. She said Johnny used cocaine, MDMA, shrooms, and marijuana. Well, we already know he does drugs, so what? If he was using or if he was drinking, there was almost always a fight. He would be sober for a little bit, and then almost just as quickly fall off the wagon. She then sought to validate Amber's charges, claiming that Johnny held one of his Yorkies out of a moving vehicle, while everyone was horrified. Johnny has denied these claims and said they're utterly false. For some reason, Amber's sister was permitted to testify despite her bad character evidence. Civil processes don't enable character actions. Given that it was approved without any objections, it may be used to show Johnny's claimed reputational injury, the basis of his case. Amber's sister has no credibility here. Based on different versions of the staircase incident, jurors must choose between Amber's sister and Johnny's bodyguard. Credibility is key. Johnny also testified that he had a drug problem in the past, but never took drugs to party. Last week, Amber's witness then testified that her life was chaotic and drug-filled. She said drugs, alcohol, and irrational jealousy made her husband a so-called monster, and she feared for her life. According to Amber, not only did Johnny beat her, he sexually tortured her throughout their relationship, searching her vagina for cocaine and using Quaaludes. She also said Johnny shoved liquor bottles into her during a 3-day binge in Australia in 2015.
That's disgusting.
In a video deposition, Bruce Witkin, a former bandmate of Johnny's, said that he encouraged the actor to get clean. He allegedly saw him use cocaine with Joe Perry of Aerosmith and noted jealousy when Nicolas Cage and Adam Ant mentioned Amber. He can definitely have a jealous streak in him. There was just crazy arguing and stuff going on there, and for some reason, he thought I could help. What's crazy to me is that that's the first time that's ever happened. For some reason, he wanted me to come. Johnny and Witkin have known one another for 40 years. It's unclear what triggered their separation, but because Johnny claims that Witkin backstabbed him in 2017, Witkin seems to be an untrustworthy witness. Johnny's ex-inner circle discussed his financial troubles, which predated any of Amber's claims of abuse. These were the details that went most directly to the core of Johnny's defamation claims. According to Tracy Jacobs of United Talent Agency, Johnny's former longtime agent said, Depp built a stellar career, only for him to squander his success through drugs and alcohol. It worsened over time. Initially, the crew loved him. He was always so great with the crew. But crews don't love sitting around for hours and hours and hours waiting for the star to show up. His star had dimmed due to it getting harder to get him jobs. Since the film industry is a small community and people talk, Johnny's poor reputation eventually took a toll. In a video deposition by Johnny's former business manager Joe Mandel, it was also revealed that the actor's luxurious lifestyle soared when he landed large parts and became more difficult to maintain when the actor didn't get them. As an example, a personal security guard was costing Depp $10,000 a day. The same amount was being spent on nurses and doctors who solely focused on Johnny's rehabilitation. The spending levels had grown very, very, very large and required that level of incredibly high income to be maintained. And when it dropped off, that disconnect became unattainable. His financial circumstances in 2015 had reached a point where I was extremely concerned, and on a very regular basis was expressing that concern. There was anger directed, in my direction. And so, my warnings in 2015 that we were in very dire circumstances were not met very favorably. It appears even discussing Johnny's financial worries with Mandel became hard. So, we've heard Amber's witness's questionable testimony. If this information clearly goes to reputational harm and damages, then Johnny's team will concentrate on it. In this lawsuit, Johnny Depp has put his reputation on the line by claiming Amber's op-ed has hurt his reputation by at least $50 million. Even if a jury finds that Amber is guilty of defamation, it may lower Johnny's damages judgment if it finds that Johnny's reputation had deteriorated prior to her op-ed. Johnny was once one of the biggest stars in the world. Do you feel any of this will change? And will Johnny win or lose this case? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Until next time, adios.